Welcome to Africa Unveiled. Ayinla, the legendary tales.
In the ancient land of Oyo, under the shade of the great baobab tree, the elder spoke of an African folktale of an old time, the first Adam. Adéwálé. Adéwálé was created by Olódùmarè himself and placed under the prosperous kingdom of Igbo, where the rivers flowed with gold dust and the trees bore fruit of wisdom. His wife Moremi was a vision of beauty and knowledge, but she was also curious beyond measure. She led Adéwálé to partake in the forbidden fruit of the okpe tree, a tree that held the wisdom of the gods. Upon his act of disobedience, a great curse fell upon Igbo, and Adéwálé was cast into a world of suffering, where men toiled under the sun and no longer walked with the divinity. However, after some centuries, Adéwálé passed on, but the spirit of Adéwálé did not perish. It lingered, waiting for its time to be reborn. Generation passed, and in the distant kingdom of Hunri, a child was born under a blood moon. His name was Chukwuebuka, meaning God is the greatest. Unlike other children, he had an aura that unsettled even with the wisest elder. He spoke in tongues that none had taught him, saw vision of the past, and possessed the knowledge no mortal could have acquired. The Igbo elder whispered that he was the return of a great spirit, a soul seeking redemption. The reincarnation of Adéwálé had come, but this time his path was different. The God had decreed that he would not taste the pleasure of the world. No wife, no feasting, no indulgence in the desire of the flesh. His purpose was to undo the sin of his past self. Chukwuebuka, though gifted beyond measure, was not spared the burden of life. Unlike Adéwálé, who lived for centuries, he was destined for a short life, while Adéwálé had built cities, taken wives, and enjoyed the pleasure of the earth. Chukwuebuka was bound to a path of sacrifice. He walked among men, but belonged to the spirits. And so Chukwuebuka embraced his fate. There is an Igbo saying, a traveler does not discard his staff until he reaches his destination. He who knows his path does not look back for reward. And so Chukwuebuka embraced his fate. But the people did not understand him. In the village, they called him mad. In the palace, they called him a prophet. He healed the sick. They doubted him. He spoke of the heaven, but they scorned him. He refused to take a wife. Many maidens longed for him. He fasted while others feasted. There's an Hausa saying that says, a man does not reject food unless he knows where his next meal will come from. But Chukwuebuka was not of this world. He fed on wisdom, not meat. As time passed, the people began to see that Chukwuebuka was different. His words carried the weight of century, and his eyes held the sorrow of past mistake. It was then that the elders began to believe the whispers. It was the return of the first man, Adéwálé. This was his judgment. Reincarnation was not just a return. It was an atonement, a verdict delivered by the gods themselves. On a fateful night under the moonlight sky of Ngun, Chukwuebuka was taken before the king. The councils of the elders, adorned in their ceremonial garments, demanded an explanation for his strange ways. You claim to have lived before, yet you walk in this body. You claim to know the past, yet we only see the present. Tell us, who are you truly? The king asked. Chukwuebuka smiled, his face bearing the weight of knowledge untold. I am he who hates and was cast out. I am he who returns to refuse the feast. I was the builder who tore down, and now I return as the wanderer who shall not build. My judgment is not of chains, but of purpose. The gods do not forget, and neither does the soul. What a man does in one life, he must answer for it in another. The elder gasps. For in his words, they saw truth. If reincarnation was false, then why did the spirits remember? Why did the destinies seem to repeat themselves? Yet the people feared his word, for they challenged their belief. After death is judgment. The priest declared, yes, Chukwuebuka agreed, and judgment is in reincarnation itself. Some return as king and other as beggar. The first Adam took, and the second Adam gave. Do you not see? The circle is unbroken, and the gods do not err. As Chukwuebuka time drew near, the kingdom was thrown into turmoil. A warlord from the north sought to destroy the land, and the people cried for salvation. Chukwuebuka, though destined for a life without pleasure, was also destined for a death of purpose. He stood before the warlord and pleaded for peace. Spare them and take me instead, he declared. The warlord, seeing no fear in his eyes, laughed and struck him down. As Chukwuebuka fell, a great storm rose from the earth, and the sky wept for him. But his death was not in vain. As the people mourned, they remember his words. The first Adam took, and the second Adam gave. Chukwuebuka had returned to right the wrong of his past self. Where Adéwálé had lived long, Chukwuebuka lived short. Where Adéwálé has indulged, Chukwuebuka denied. And where Adéwálé had caused suffering, Chukwuebuka brought peace. The circle was complete, and the God had delivered their judgment. In the years that followed, the people of Ngun, Inri, and beyond spoke of the man who had come twice. They understood now that reincarnation was not just a return, but a reckoning. What we put in our mouths, we shall carry on our head. And so they lived wisely, for they knew that one day they too will return to repeat or atone. This is not just an African folktales, it's folktales of reality. Why was Jesus called first, second Adam? Drop your comments in the comment section. Kindly subscribe, like, and on the notification button if you're on YouTube. And if you're on TikTok, on Instagram, or Facebook, kindly follow. Thank you. See you.
Ayinla, the legendary tales.